whether you're a company driver or a lease purchase guy, an owner operator with your own truck and you're leased on to some other carrier, if you're getting paid by the mile, how many miles are you getting shorted annually? Have you ever thought about that? Does your company have you logging the miles on the odometer? I started at this place on this date, and this is my miles, and I took a load to this place, delivered on this date, and this is the miles when I delivered, actual miles. Or are they using one of these TMS software systems, which the vast majority of the time shorts you on miles? I think a lot of these TMS systems use air miles rather than practical miles or actual miles. I mean, if you take most of the time, your dispatcher, they dispatch you and they tell you what the deadhead miles are, what the loaded miles are. And if you're a company driver, for example, and you're getting paid 50 cents a mile, let's say that they dispatch you for 69 miles for deadhead. And then you're going to pick up a load that is going to take you 789 miles, according to them. But the actual miles would be like 817 miles. And your deadhead miles might be, let's say, 65. Well, on the dispatched deadhead miles, you might come out a couple of miles to the good, since your dispatch is 69 miles, but it was actually 65. But then you come up short on the loaded mile. Are you keeping track of these miles? Because although you're not getting paid for those extra miles, you're still driving those extra miles. And if the company isn't paying you, whether you're lease purchase, company driver, or just whatever, if the company is not paying you for those miles, then you're being shortchanged. And you need to be able to make that up. Now, if you're a lease purchase person or you're a owner operator with your own truck and you're leased on with a carrier, you can recover that money by putting together an invoice, all right, an itemized bill, if you will, stipulating the load, the deadhead, the loaded miles, where the load picked up, where it delivered, and then the difference in the dispatched miles versus the actual miles. And you can bill them the same amount that they're paying you if you want. But then you can also bill them, you have to check with your state and what the laws are, but you can also bill them a late charge for that money that they owe you. And 99.9% of the time, they're not going to pay you. And that's fine, because now you can write that off on your taxes as a bad debt, uncollectible money. It's money that's legally and rightfully yours. You earned it. You drove the miles. You took the load. That's not in dispute. The only thing that's in dispute is miles. So you're rightfully owed that money. You follow me? So now you write that off on your taxes as lost revenue. If you're a company driver, your situation is going to be slightly different, but you're still owed that money because you drove the miles. Even though the actual miles versus the dispatch miles are different, You drove the actual miles. You're owed that money. And so, since you're an employee and they withhold taxes on you and all that, you need to consult your tax professional to find out how you can go about recovering that money. But that's money that's owed you, just like it's the same situation with the lease purchase people and the owner operators. You're owed that money. You actually did the work, you drove the miles. So you need to be compensated. These carriers count on the fact that you're not tracking any of this. And everybody needs to take the time and note all of these things. If you don't want to log your actual miles, then compare the dispatch miles to what Google Maps or Apple Maps show, and usually you'll see a difference. But your best way is to log the actual mile. That's going to be your most accurate. But like I said, once in a while you'll catch a load that the deadhead miles, they dispatch more miles on the deadhead than what it actually is, or same thing with loaded miles. Once in a while you'll get a load that is dispatched for more loaded miles than what it actually is. So just keep that in mind, because this is money that you're earning, but you're not collecting. This is money that you're owed. So take the time, keep your records, make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's, and you guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you down the road. Bye.